evening and welcome to News Watch. Tonight we are coming to you live from 28 Valley Road, Nairobi City. Thank you so much for joining us on this live broadcast. My name is Tonny Omondi and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's begin with our top story tonight. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has broken his silence over the ongoing heated debate regarding the third basis revenue sharing formula after the Senate Assembly this week failed to resolve the impasse that is now crippling counties. President Kenyatta, while speaking during a title deeds issuing exercise at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, dismissed claims that he was involved in the revenue standoff. This comes as Deputy President William Ruto has also called for an equitable share of revenue among all the 47 counties. Dickens Luvanda has the report.
President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto have seemingly differed on how best counties should get their share of revenue in the ongoing revenue sharing formula that has seen the Senate Assembly divided, with the two groups of senators standing on different grounds. The first group of senators, led by Senate Majority Whip Muranga Senator Irungu Kangata, are in support of a formula by the Commission on Revenue Allocation (CRA), which proposes for the allocation of funds to counties depending on their population, popularly known as the one man, one vote, one shilling, while the second group, led by a group of young senators, including Kipchumba Murkomen, Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Johnson Sakaja, Ledama Olekina, Cleophas Malala, among others, wants all the 47 counties to get equitable share.
I will not be part of a leadership that makes a decision to take away money from less fortunate counties like Turkana, like Marsabit, like Tana River, and take them to Mount Kenya.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, while speaking in Nairobi, told of persons linking him to the revenue share stalemate, saying the senators ought to have passed the formula as it is to allow counties to continue with their development agenda.
Nasoma tu magazeti vile watu wanaongea na nasema muendelee. Mimi sina shida. Mimi naambia wa Kenya, mimi mutanitambua kwa vitendo vyangu, lakini sio kwa yale ambaye nitakuwa napiga nduru kila siku. Kazi mtaiona. Kazi mtaiona. Wakupiga kelele waendelee. Tukiongea hii mambo ya Senate, mimi si pesa ya Uhuru ati watu waseme Uhuru hii formula si ilitolewa na wale watu wa SRC. Si imeenda Senate kusema watu wagawe pesa kwa njia ya haki. Kila mtu apate haki. Kwa nini mwananchi wa Nairobi ati kwa sababu inasemekana ati Nairobi ni mji tajiri, wewe ambao unaishi Embakasi na Korogosho bado unafunga choo kwa karatasi, lakini unaambiwa wewe ni tajiri, huna haki ya kupata pesa. Ukweli na haki utajitokeza.
President Kenyatta's statement, however, differs with that of his deputy William Ruto, who says if the current formula passes, then marginalized counties, which are likely to lose a big chunk of the monies, should be cushioned through a special fund so as to allow smooth flow of operations in the respective counties.
The Senate has the requisite leadership and wisdom for them to come up with a formula that takes into account all the parameters and ensures that populous counties have additional resources.
If the CRA formula is passed, then coastal counties alone will lose over 6 billion shillings.
I think the formula needs to be renegotiated. There's no doubt about that. People need to sit down and have a rational discussion, because you cannot just change the modus operandi overnight.
The Senate on Monday night adjourned for the 9th time to allow a special committee formed by opposing sides to reach a consensus on the third basis formula allocation to counties. Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV Newswatch.
Moving on, the suspended KEMSA CEO Jonah Manjari is in more trouble after he failed to attend a Senate grilling that sought to establish the truth about COVID-19 funds at the government's agency. Manjari, through representatives, argued that he was admitted at the Kenyatta National Hospital and could not attend the Senate Health Committee meeting. The Senate Health Committee has since demanded proof that the CEO is indeed sick and called for a presentation of an official letter from the hospital CEO, Dr. Evanson Kamuri, confirming of the Manjari's condition. Joseph Maingi has this report.
A week after his suspension, Kenya Medical Supplies Authority KEMSA CEO Jonah Manjali has snubbed a grilling session at the Senate on Friday that sought to establish the expenditure on COVID-19 funds. Acting Chief Executive of KEMSA, Edward Njoroge, and the team that accompanied him said Jonah Manjali was admitted at the Kenyatta National Hospital. However, lawmakers derided the excuses, saying that there was no proof that the officer was sick. The senators have equally dismissed a letter which was purported to be from the hospital. The letter signed by Dr. Ngugi was judged inadmissible as it was not addressed to the Senate.
The unfortunate part is that up to now he has not given us a satisfactory excuse why he's away. Chair, I also look forward that next week this witness who was supposed to appear before us, who has a lot of impunity, must be brought before this committee and to tell Kenyans, why are we losing our doctors and nurses?
If the CEO became sick yesterday, he could have asked his lawyer to write a letter procedurally to the Speaker and the Office of the Clerk.
The meeting, which was co-chaired by Trans Nzoia Senator Michael Mbito and nominated Senator Sylvia Kasanga, has ruled that the Senate clerk should receive a letter signed by the Kenyatta National Hospital CEO, Dr. Evanson Kamuri. With failure to do so, will attract major sanctions.
And these sanctions are very, very serious matters. We're not joking about this matter. So we want a letter addressed to the clerk of the Senate, signed by the CEO of Kenyatta National Hospital.
The committee has now been forced to adjourn a meeting to probe allegations of a loss of COVID-19 money after Manjali snubbed their sitting. Mbito has further summoned KEMSA board next week to give their account on the graft allegations at the agency.
So we want to adjourn this meeting to next week. We'll give you a date, and I hope we'll all be in-house so that we come to the bottom of this matter. So that the embarrassment that we are facing as Kenyans, we cannot manage funds. We cannot manage a pandemic. People are getting rich.
KEMSA has been on the spotlight after it emerged that officials dished out tenders to mysterious entities under the cover of COVID-19 pandemic. Manjali was suspended together with the commercial director Eliud Mureithi and his procurement counterpart Charles Juma last week to pave way for investigations of allegations of flouting procurement regulations.
Any company doing business is subjected to VAT and 30% corporate tax. That is issue number one. Mr. Chairman, we're also I'm going to suggest that we invite the registrar of companies. We are going to lift this veil and to see who are these individuals who are making Kenyans suffer. The billions that are now being threatened to be withdrawn is money that supports poor people.
The trio was sent home to allow the Ethic and Anti-Corruption Commission to complete investigations on COVID-19 procurement irregularities and alleged misuse of funds. Joseph Maingi, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
On Kenya's COVID-19 situation, now the country has recorded 322 new coronavirus cases, bringing the total number of infections in the country to 31,763. Addressing the media, Health CS Dr. Mercy Mwangangi said 9 patients are foreigners while 313 are Kenyans. According to Mwangangi, 93% of all the cases are asymptomatic and potential transmitters of the virus. Cough is the leading symptom, followed by fever and difficulty in breathing. Mark Kimondo has this report.
The government has appealed to Kenyans to avoid stigmatization against people who have recovered from COVID-19 disease, but embrace them back to the society. A survey by Tifa research firm shows that stigmatization is still a challenge in the fight against coronavirus pandemic. The survey revealed that 23% of Kenyans are not willing and cannot visit people who have recovered from the virus. According to the World Health Organization, stigma can undermine social cohesion and prompt possible social isolation of groups. As of today, about 885 healthcare workers have tested positive for the killer virus, with 16 succumbing to the disease. But even with this, the medics are still declaring that the government is not paying them on time, However, Health Chief Administrative Secretary Dr. Masi Mwangangi cleared that the government is conducting discussions to meet the needs of the COVID-19 frontliners. However, the government is still receiving different donations to fight COVID-19, with the donations distributed to different counties depending on caseloads. Ministry of Health has confirmed that 93% of COVID-19 cases in Kenya are asymptomatic, thus communicating how the situation might be worse if this group of people interact with COVID-19 negative persons in the society. Meanwhile, in today's COVID-19 statistics, the country recorded 322 new cases after 4,470 samples were analyzed in the last 24 hours, raising the country's total to 31,736. The youngest is a 3-year-old infant, while the oldest is 92 years old. At the same time, 288 patients have recovered from the virus, bringing the total number of recoveries in the country so far to 18,157. 190 of today's recoveries were from the home-based care program, while 98 were discharged from various health facilities across the country. However, 16 more patients have succumbed to the virus, raising fatalities to 532. Since the COVID-19 reached Kenya in March this year, Nairobi County has remained the epicenter for the disease in the country. The fact that Nairobi leads in daily COVID-19 cases reveal how the virus is surging in the county that has even seen some health facilities turn to hotspots. Mark Kimondo, Newswatch, Nairobi.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has issued 38,000 land title deeds to residents of Embakasi, Ranching, Tasia, Korogosho, and Mbagathi River Bank estates in Nairobi County. He's encouraged recipients of the title deeds to develop their parcels and assured them that the government will provide the supporting infrastructure. President Uhuru Kenyatta has at the same time urged leaders to shun unnecessary politics, saying endless politicking was slowing down the country's progress. Chris Ongoi has the report.
It's a sigh of relief to landowners in Embakasi ranching area who have been issued with their title deeds after 45 years. The issuance of the 38,000 title deeds to residents of Embakasi ranching area, Tasia Estate, Korogosho and the Mbagathi informal settlements is part of President Uhuru Kenyatta's Nairobi titling program that was launched in 2018 and has seen more than 5 million title deeds reach their owners. President Uhuru Kenyatta, speaking at KICC in Nairobi, laments that politics in the nation can sometimes derail Kenyans from getting access to what they deserve as their rights. He further calls on the leaders to step up their game and do the work they were elected for.
Nataka kusema ya kwamba ni mengi twaweza kutimiza kama nchi tukitoa siasa na mgogoro wa uongozi na tukijiuliza ni nini ambaye tunatafuta. Na kwa ukweli ni nini ambaye tunatafuta hapa? Tunatafuta haki ya yule ambaye anastahili kumiliki hiyo shamba. Na hiyo ndio imetuongoza.
The issue of one owning a land in Kenya has for a long time been marred with problems. Issues of title deeds being shared by more than one person without their knowledge are common, with the president announcing that such discrepancies will be eliminated. The sad news is that sometimes Kenyans can be talked into giving up their land through dubious means and are left with nothing to call their own. The president asks Kenyans to use their newly received documents to better their lives and that of their children, and for some, even grandchildren. At the same time, the president assures Kenyans who have received the title deeds that the government will be willing to back them up to ensure they better their lives.
Na mimi niwahakikishie mkianza kazi ya kujenga, mimi niko nyuma yenu na jemedari na wale wengine, tulete barabara, tulete maji, tulete sewage, tulete stima, na ndio wananchi waishi kwa hali ambayo inatakikana. Sini hivyo? Ama mwatakaje wenzangu?
Land CS Farida Korenei, who also spoke at the event attended by Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko, NMS Director General Mohammed Badi, and a host of Nairobi leaders, said her ministry has issued a total of 145,000 title deeds to city residents in the last 8 years. Nationally, she said the Jubilee administration had given Kenyans 5 million title deeds compared to 6 million documents issued in the first 50 years of Kenya's independence. Coronel regretted that some of the elderly recipients of the title deeds had waited for more than 50 years and informed Kenyans that her ministry was implementing a rapid titling exercise that will see more title deeds issued in coming months to landowners across the country. Grace Songoi, Hope TV News Watch.
Let's now take a short commercial break on News Watch. We still have more lined up for you. Stay with News Watch.
Welcome to Rafiki Gardens along Kangondo Road by HopeTvKenya. This is an ideal and affordable piece of investment that is strategically placed within the Nairobi metropolis. Rafiki Gardens is close to key social amenities like schools, banks, and shopping malls. This project comes with ready title deeds, maram roads, and a marking fence round the property. Get a plot at only 695,000 Kenya shillings cash price. You can also pay a 50% deposit and pay the rest in 6 months installments. Call us today on 0702 8310 83 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Bondeni mwa mauti.
Pepper sauce.
Ile unasikia mpaka hapa.
Unaweka mayai bila breadcrumbs.
Sasa nimejua.
One thing yenye unafanya tayari meatball iko wet. So ukiongeza mayai you are making it more wet.
Naita sijui bolognese, sijui bolo nini?
Bolognese. It's
bolognese.
not with meatball.
Bolognese.
Let me tell you, chakula chako chapendeza. It looks very good. It's pleasing to the eye. I just don't know whether it will also be pleasing to the tongue.
So it's Evolve Music Group.
Yes, Evolve Music Group.
Okay.
Tafuta Bwana Yesu. Utanipata.
Okay. Sawa. Thank you.
Welcome back to Hope TV News Watch. Nyandarua Governor Francis Kimemia has thrown his weight behind the push to have senators pass the revenue formula, saying the delay in passing the formula has stalled activities at the counties. Is called on the 12-member committee tasked with coming up with a resolution on the formula to quickly give the way forward on the matter. Is called for equal share of the revenue among all the counties while calling on leaders to stop politicizing the whole issue.
Our Senate, tafadhalini, mambo ya kupatia wananchi wetu pesa wakati kuna shida ya COVID si mzuri kuchezea siasa. Kwa hiyo mambo hiyo, kamati ambayo imetengenezwa ya Senate or senators, tafadhalini, be patriotic, be of one mind, love your country. Tuache siasa, tuache ukabila, tuache chuki, tuache wivu, tuongozwe na mapenzi ya nchi yetu and the national interest. Tutoe hiyo pesa kulingana na vile populations ziko, ili kama wewe una watu milioni 2 uweze kununua madawa, uweze kujenga barabara, uweze kuweka maji, uweze kuweka stima, uweze kusaidia youth. So we would like that money to be released with immediate effect. Wajipatie 1 week maximum, watoe hizo pesa so that people can be able to, we can be able in the counties to develop our counties and to return our people to the norms, to the normal life, because kuna shida mingi. We cannot pay salaries, we cannot buy drugs, we cannot construct. I think we cannot play around with the lives of our people.
The government has assured Kenyans that all schools in the country will reopen in January 2021, whether COVID-19 pandemic will have been contained or not. Education Chief Administrative Secretary Zakaria Kinuthia said the government is doing all it can to defeat the virus before reopening of learning institutions. The government is taking measures including construction of more classrooms, laboratories and ablution blocks in schools across 31 counties that have registered shortage of facilities. Kinuthia said the projects to improve schools' facilities will commence by mid-September. He spoke at the Muyeye Vocational Training Center in Malindi Town on Thursday.
We have a program that is called SEKIP. SEKIP is a World Bank funded program that is adding classrooms, laboratories and ablution blocks in every school that has sufficient shortage. Many of our schools have sufficient shortage of classes even before Corona came. And they have been programmed to empower these schools by giving them classes. And you know also CDF is doing the same. Some county governments are also chipping in to help their own people. But because this is an ambit of national government, we will be building classes in 31 counties out of 47. 6.7 billion worth project. And it is starting in October. Actually, I think mid-September. Perhaps in 3 weeks from now, the government will be starting to put up classes because the tenders have been floated, evaluation committees have sat down, and they have concluded the process so that we add classes. The other thing the government is doing, out of 43,000 schools in Kenya, 30,000 had water, clean flowing water. 13 did not have. Since July, the government has been deliberate on connecting clean, safe and drinkable water.
And the Kenya Youth Employment and Opportunities Project, KYEOP, has injected 1.6 million shillings grant to benefit over 1,700 jobless youths in Kitui County to start income-generating activities amidst the COVID-19 economic recession. Speaking in Kitui County, KYEOP National Project Coordinator Olivia Ouko said another set of 400 youths have been trained on starting up their businesses in the county and 414 master craftsmen. Ouko said the project is tailored to prepare youths for acquisition of employability skills, training and enhanced opportunities to bolster their survival during this season.
So 1,700 youth trainees within Kitui County. Then we have another 400. Remember, this project is in 17 counties. So 400 young people have benefited from grants from Kitui County. If you calculate that, 400 times 40,000, that's 16 million Kenya shillings is with the youth of Kitui County to start their own enterprises. Now, when they start their enterprises, we walk them through the journey. You don't just give them the money in one tranche.
Mzee wangu hayuko kazi juu COVID ilipoingia alisimamishwa kazi. Saa hii mimi ndo natoka tena naleta tunakula na tunasaidiana hivyo juu mimi nilifunzwa na nikapata kitu ya kunisaidia kwa maisha yangu.
Umetusaidia sana because hiyo time tulikuwaga na karoom kadogo, sasa tumeexpand. Unaona tumepata room kubwa vile hata tunaweza chukua students wengi sana. Tumetusaidia pia, hatukukuwa na kitu kama power generator, tuliweza kununua iko pale na tunaendelea na tunashukuru.
By the prevailing coronavirus pandemic, even as others adjust their lifestyles. As families come together, parents are figuring out ideal relationships with their children during this season. In the wake of COVID-19, parenting young ones has been a big challenge to many, leading to emotional anxiety. Faith Imani Mugo tells us about COVID-19 parenting.
Child specialists suggest one of the best ways of parenting in this season without having to go through extreme mental issues is to draw a routine for your babies and children. But why a routine?
If you do not have a proper daytime structure whereby things in your home are running by the clock, of course it doesn't have to be military tight, but there needs to be a structure where your children know what's coming next, what needs to be done, thereby giving you an opportunity or a window to work, to be away from them maybe when they're sleeping, so that you can be on the Zoom for the meetings that you may be having, or step out to work and then come back home. But without structure, the house is uncontrollable. There's a lot of tantrums and crying. The mother feels overwhelmed.
This pandemic has ushered in different ways of doing things. Most parents are now working from home, and at the same time, children are learning from home. Without a schedule, the entire family ends up in distress, causing a disrupted growth.
Having a proper structure for daytime routine. Now, if you have a young child, it could look like this. They wake up and they eat. So let's say this is a 4 or 5 month old. They eat, then they play, then they're back to sleep. Now, one of the most important things that I like to tell parents is that for your young child, let's say the 4 month old, you have to look at their wakeful window. So what that means is that from the time they wake up to the time they sleep, how long has that been?
Schools, on the other hand, provide a safe haven for children and in a way help parents in parenting their children. According to a research by UNICEF, the impact of extended education disruption is significant. This includes poor nutrition, stress, increased exposure to violence and exploitation, childhood pregnancies, and overall challenges in mental development for children due to reduced interaction related to school closures, among others. Specialists suggest children function better in planned schedules. Schools for ages have helped children get orderly in their growth. Unfortunately for some parents, this has become a real headache.
Kids, especially children of 4 years up to 12 years, they are normally very, very playful. And when something happens like now this season of COVID-19 pandemic, children are rather confined in the homes. They are not in school where they play, where they meet their friends, where they are able to, even become more creative. Because when children are together, they are extremely creative.
The fact that children are not in school, many have found themselves wondering how to go about parenting. How can one start a routine that is workable at home?
Consistency is the key. You do the same thing every night for 365 days. It changes your lifestyle because you need to be structured. Oh, sasa ni saa ngapi? It's 3 o'clock. What should we be doing? It's 6. We need to be bathing. Oh my gosh. Try and follow routine. So write down the times. You can print it out and put it on the fridge or where your other family members can see it, because it helps that when everybody is on board.
Having a proper schedule for children helps them to sleep better too. For some parents, getting their child into bed is a struggle that can take hours.
Now, one of the most important things that I like to tell parents is that for your young child, let's say the 4-month-old, you have to look at their wakeful window. So what that means is that from the time they wake up to the time they sleep, how long has that been? It should only be 2 hours. Maximum of 2 hours for a 4-month-old. If it's a 3-month-old, let's say an hour, 30 minutes. From 0 to 3 months, 1 hour, 30 minutes a week window. Meaning if your child woke up at 8 a.m., they eat, they play. Sleep should be back at 9:30. So you've got to watch out on those timings, because most times we say the baby will sleep when they're ready to sleep. Okay? Or you say, oh, my baby, before they sleep, they cry and cry and cry and cry. But actually, your baby is crying uncontrollably when they're sleepy because you've missed the wakeful window.
While the decision of whether to have a babysitter or not is still very personal, for some families, especially those parents going for work away from home, it can be an appealing alternative to use a caregiver they can trust to follow social distancing guidelines. Faith Imani Mugo for Hope TV Newswatch.
Okay, with that story from Faith Imani Mugo, let's take another short commercial break on Newswatch. When we come back, of course, we'll be looking at business headlines shortly.
Whether you are fat or thin, and for me, I don't consider myself fat. I consider myself good for my purpose, to hug women. When they come crying and they come and hug me, They just come and I hug them and they cry and cry and cry until they are comfortable.
We praise together, we praise him.
Right, welcome back to the broadcast. The Kenyans are embracing technology as a distribution method, which has turned out to be more critical in these unprecedented times of the COVID-19. This has been catapulted by the wide reach of 4G network in the country. The availability of internet in different sectors has also promoted e-commerce in the country, with retailers reaching the market space that has been flooded by customers. Joe Jesse spoke to Safaricom manager Devices Open Market.
The business world without internet accessibility is proving most businesses counterproductive. Business models that are ignoring technology are now more at a risk of stalling their growth plan if they fail to heed the call. According to Safaricom manager Devices Open Market John Mafabi, Kenyans of between 20 and 50 years are striving to get access to the internet, with Safaricom's hire purchase smartphone financing plan Lipa Mdogo Mdogo fast-tracking this.
Right now, everything is gone digital. It's e-commerce. People are trading online. People are buying clothes. People are buying shoes. And especially with COVID, we got to a point even a few months ago, we got to a point where guys and people could not even go to a shop. Some shops were closed and everyone could not even go and do shopping. And I'm glad that now with Lipa Mdogo Mdogo, with the phone that we've introduced, it has 4G and it has good speeds. You can be able to do all these things at just a click of your button.
According to Mafabi, the Lipa Mdogo Mdogo initiative, a partnership with Google, which is intended to move millions of Kenyans from 2G to 4G, launched in July this year, has helped the less fortunate and more fast-time users access internet that is critical in a fast-changing world, with Safaricom striving to offer 80% 4G coverage within the next 5 years.
The past 2 to 3, say 3 to 4 months, we've seen an uptick on mobile phones. Now there's more of video streaming, and the mobile phone is what will take us to another level. Now we want everyone to be able to access the internet. Basically, one is things that people do on a daily basis. And what are those? WhatsApp. Everyone knows WhatsApp. Facebook. Google, just trying to Google and to find out, what does a name mean? Things as small as that. So we want everyone to be able to access the internet. And this is an opportunity for all Kenyans to be able to access the internet and be able to access even a better way of communicating like WhatsApp.
With the latest statistic from the Communication Authority CA placing Kenya's internet penetration at 90%, Safaricom in the coming months will be looking forward to expanding the finance base to reach a wider market.
And the beauty about it is it's very affordable. You're paying 20 shillings a day, and as opposed to going to pay many thousands of shillings from your pocket, and especially with now COVID, some people don't even have jobs anymore. So we were trying to get a way of getting to customers and reaching to customers, an affordable way of reaching to customers, and especially with now the best technology, which is 4G.
With education sectors also tantalizing on the internet to provide access to education, the less fortunate can now take advantage of the Lipa Mdogo Mdogo initiative to make sure that they are not left out in the digitization of the education sector.
Now there's more of video streaming, and people are checking, are learning through the mobile phone, and e-learning especially, like right now, e-learning. Schools are even teaching kids through their mobile phones, and this is an opportunity to give, because it's an affordable opportunity for our subscribers to be able to learn, even if it's e-learning from schools.
Reporting for Hope TV News Watch, I'm Joe Jesse.
The Africa Development Bank, AFDB, has committed 1.9 billion shillings in support of youth agricultural initiatives in the country. This is according to Agricultural Finance Corporation AFC Board Chairman Franklin Bett, who said the funds will go towards lending to youth agripreneurs. According to BET, AFC is also working with other USAID-funded programs in the country, through which the corporation is leveraging on an additional 1.2 billion shillings to Kenyan farmers. BET spoke during the inauguration of the new AFC board members on Friday morning.
It's our desire to transform AFC into an agricultural development bank. This will see the institution serve agriculture value chain players much better than the way we are today, and fulfill its role in stimulating investment through agriculture. The new institution will be modeled around the success stories of agricultural banks around the world. We have similar agricultural banks in India, they call it NAPAD, in Malaysia, in Thailand, in China, and even in the Netherlands.
Retail holding company for Carrefour Supermarket has launched an initiative to support healthcare workers in Nairobi on the front line in the fight against COVID-19. Carrefour donated essential resources to the heroic healthcare workers at the Kenyatta National Hospital, Kenya's largest public hospital, and its affiliates, offering them much-needed support during the pandemic. The donations included household appliances such as microwaves, refrigerators, and water dispensers, as well as food items. The move follows a charitable initiative that Carrefour launched earlier this year to generate donations of more than 65,000 tons of staple food items worth over 5 million shillings in support of underprivileged families across Nairobi affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Today we are going to give to donate electronics item, food item, which will help to support all the frontliners isolated during this pandemic, and we understood that it's a need for your frontliners.
I'm very pleased that you took this initiative to partner with Kenyatta National Hospital. We really do appreciate and your assistance. I can see so many things, and it's very exciting that you went up to this length to give us these facilities, and these commodities you've given us, we are going to give them to our staff so that they can also feel part of you.
And British High Commissioner Jen Marriott is presided over the handing over of the first block of apartments at Unity West under the Unity Homes in Tatu City. The housing project under the British-Kenyan partnership, which is worth 4 billion shillings, is meant to cover the deficit of 2 million units that keeps growing by 200,000 units per year, a factor driven mainly by rapid population growth. John Latham, Executive Director of Unity Homes, has said that they're looking to see as many Kenyans as possible access good housing in a safe, secure and modern environment.
Can you hold it too? Can you hold the ribbon as well?
Today. President Kenyatta and Prime Minister Boris Johnson signed the strategic partnership back in January, focusing on mutual prosperity, sustainable development, security, stability, climate and people to people. And projects like this tick so many of those boxes. It's sustainable, it's about mutual prosperity, and it's people to people. It's somewhere to live in a climate helpful, friendly manner.
It will help Kenyans from all walks of life enjoy the special economic zone status of Tatu City as a project, the quality of the developments that we've all seen here today speak to the special planning area status that government has awarded this project.
That story brings us to the end of our news broadcast tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Tonny Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Muridi. Have a blessed weekend.